Now we are going to begin with the next topic, and that is electric field lines. Okay, electric field lines. We have not discussed this, right? We have. We have?
Yes.
Sure?
Yes.
How much did I tell you? Okay, it can be curved, and we find direction by tangent. That's what we have done, right? So I told you from a field line diagram, how can you compare magnitude? What do you see if you want to compare magnitude? What do you see if you want to compare magnitude? Closeness of the field line. Okay or not? And for direction we can draw a tangent. Got it? Everybody? Well, now there are some characteristics or some properties of electric field lines. Okay, I'm going to write that. Okay, properties of electric field lines. Again, this is one of the questions, theory-based questions that could be asked from this chapter. Number 1 is that electric field lines. Now I will not write everything, I will just write EFL for short. Okay? Electric field lines start from a positive charge and end at a negative charge. Right? Electric field lines start from positive charge, they end at a negative charge. Right? In absence of charge, electric field line may go up to infinity. Okay. So for our first 2 points, I think it will be good if you can draw a little diagram. This is, again, you can say mostly for your purpose, but even in exam if you draw it, it's actually better, but not compulsory. So suppose here we have only one positive charge. Then we say that electric field lines will come out. Do you remember this?
Yes.
Everyone does?
Yes.
Sure? Right, so they are coming out from this, fine, that's what the first sentence is saying. But then where are they going? Where will this stop? At infinity. Basically the reason is, why does it go up to infinity? Because electromagnetic force is a long range. Right? This charge here can apply force on another charge that is very far. You understood that? Okay, so because of the nearly infinite range, that's why this will go all the way till infinity. Wherever electric field is there, electric field lines will be there. Simple idea. Right? Wherever electric field is there, the electric field lines will be there. Think about the electric field of a point charge. Up to how much distance electric field will be there? R only? What am I asking and what are you all answering? I am asking you up to how much distance will this electric field be there? Will it be up to 1 meter? Yes, you can put R value 1. You will get some value of electric field. Can you find it at 100 meter? Yes. 1000?
Yes.
1 billion? 1 billion billion?
Yes.
I hope you got the idea.
Yes.
You can put any value of R, no problem. You will get E equal to 0 only if R is infinite, or in mathematical language tends to infinite. Is that clear? So that means the electric field of a point charge is up to how much distance? It only becomes 0 at infinite distance. That actually means it doesn't become 0 ever. So where will this electric field line go? Wherever the electric field is. So it will go all the way till infinity. Is that okay? Right? But that's the thing, right? So if there is only one positive charge, all the field lines will go to infinity. right? All the field lines go up to infinity. Never mind. Similarly, opposite will happen for a negative charge. There they come from infinity. I hope that makes sense. They come from infinity. Alright, point 1 and 2 clear? I'm going to erase it. So in the first point we have written that electric field lines start or end from a positive and negative charge. Right? So where there is no charge, that is called in charge free region. Charge free, not free charge. Okay, in charge free region. Electric field lines are smooth and continuous curves. Electric field lines are smooth and continuous curves. Math students, I don't think I need to explain meaning of all this. Smooth means no corner. Okay, basically it means it can be differentiated, right? Have you studied on that? Differentiability? No problem. Never. So right now I think that's enough for me to say that there won't be anything like this. Did you understand? There will be no corners. Corners not allowed. That means smooth. If you want, you can write the meaning. Okay. And what is meaning of continuous? That's a little bit easier. Continuous means without breaks. Okay. So you can write that no breaks. So that is, it can't be like this. Yeah. In charge free regions, that is. You understood that? It will only break at a charge. For example, at a negative charge, the electric field line will come and break. Done. Does that make sense? Okay, similarly at a positive charge, it just goes out. There might be nothing on this side. Clear? Okay, so it will not be continuous over there. Never mind, so that's what we have. So this is wrong and this is also wrong. Alright? Let's go to the next one, number 4. Two electric field lines can never cross or intersect or cut, whatever you want to write, each other. Right? The problem is two tangents at point of intersection. POI, short form of points or point of intersection. What does this point mean? Let's see. Like I said, with these kind of points, if you can draw diagrams, it would be wonderful. So let's say this is one field, and suppose here is another. What would happen if they cross? That's what I have written here in the bracket. The problem is this. Exam માં આનો લખતા. Exam માં લખવું હોય તો bracket માં લખજો. If this happens, we have two tangents at point of intersection. Okay, કેમ બે tangent હોય તો કઈ વાંધો છે? કોઈ માર નાખવાનું તમને? What's the problem? The problem is direct. Here, if you look at field line number 1 and number 2. So number 1's tangent is in this direction. Do you agree? But number 2's tangent is in this direction. Yes or no? But we know that tangent direction indicates direction of electric field. But like I said, electric field at one point can only be in one direction. One vector can be in how many directions? A vector has a unique direction, isn't it? Yes or no, everyone? When we say velocity, okay, then velocity will have a particular direction. You understand? If you say it has two directions, then they are nothing but components. I hope that makes sense to you. Then you can combine it and make it only one. So, This is wrong. Why wrong? Because this would mean at this point P, there are two separate electric fields. It cannot be like this. There will be only one electric field at any point. So that's why this is wrong. In fact, what will happen is that if two field lines were to cross, then the fields will merge. And then instead of going that way or this way, it will go here. Did you understand? The two field lines will merge and the field will get rearranged and the field will be there. That's called superposition principle. Understood? Yes. Right? But yes, so two field lines can never cross each other because we get this problem. Understood? You know, basically you can ask a question. If you put a charge here, where will it go? Will it go there or will it go here? It cannot go in both directions at the same time. Does that make sense? One object can only go in one direction at first. Nevertheless. So that's point number 4. Did you draw that diagram? Or I erased it too quickly? Never mind. Here we go again. Draw the rest yourself. One tangent, and similarly you can draw another tangent. Okay. Next point. Number 5. Electric field lines for a uniform field are parallel and equidistant from each other. This is something that you are going to see very often in numerical, because uniform field are one of the favorites. Makes all the calculation and all that pretty easy. Well, so what does this mean? Why does it have to be like that only? Why can't it be anything else? Let's have a look. Suppose I draw one field line, let's say like this, and I draw another field line, let's say like this. So I am giving you 2 points, one A, another B. At which point is the field stronger? At which point is the field stronger? A or B? A. How do you know? How do you know? Electric field lines are close to each other. Very. Would you call this uniform field? What's meaning of uniform field? Same in magnitude everywhere, and also same in direction everywhere. Is that clear? So we already have discovered one problem with this diagram. What's the problem? If it's like this, the magnitude cannot be same. Another problem. Look at arrows. Don't you think electric field at point C and electric field at point D is also in different directions? C is that way, but D is at an angle. That's not called uniform. Okay? So now, let's read what we have written. The electric field lines have to be parallel to each other. So one problem will be solved. So let's say electric field lines are parallel to each other. I am trying my best to draw parallel. Okay, excuse me if there is a little bit of mistake. Like this. So at every point the direction of field is same. Got it? But we still have one more problem with that. It can't be like this also. If I take one point here again A and one point here B, at which point are field lines close to each other? A. And at B they are far. So which magnitude is more? A. Is this called uniform? So to make it uniform, we have to put them equally close everywhere. Yes or no? Yes. Don't you think that would make it equidistant? What do you mean of equidistant? Same distance from each other everywhere. Is that okay? Like this. Clear or not?
Yes.
Okay, approximately I'm trying to draw that. Fine, got it? So was it clear? Now let's have a look at an example. We are just going to look at a diagram. Okay. Example 8. Look at the field lines shown in the figure. Do you see they are for uniform field?
Yes.
Can you identify that they are for uniform field? How do we identify? We look for descendants. Are the field lines parallel to each other? Yes. Then are they at equal distance from each other? Look at the blue one. Understood? આવું દેખાય તો સમજી જવાનું. શું સમજી જવાનું? Electric field is uniform. Forward question માં નહીં લખ્યું હોય. Okay, you have to look at the diagram carefully. Well, so that's the point number 5. Alright, I'm erasing it. Now, make sure you draw the diagram. Next. Electric field lines in electrostatics do not form closed loops. Now, I will explain what this means, but I will not explain what. Okay, that is why don't they form closed loops? Not here. You will know that by the end of chapter 2. So what does this mean first? It's saying that if you have got electrostatics, electrostatics means referring to charge, statics means stationary. Electrostatics means when we are talking about stationary charges that is not moving, charges that are not moving. At that time, electric field lines do not form closed loops. What if they move? Then they might. Okay, that will come later. You don't have to worry about all that right now. So what this means is you cannot have any kind of loop formed by an electric field line. Okay, this is a wrong diagram. Understood? This is a wrong diagram. Actually, if you look at the previous point, you will understand it can't be like this. Field line has to start at positive charge. Then if it comes back to the same point, we have a problem. The problem is field line should end at a negative charge. But this one is ending at a positive charge. Understood? So that's the problem we have. Clear? Anyways, if charges move, all sorts of crazy things happen. Okay? For example, light is generated if charges move. Okay? Right? All sorts of crazy things happen. We'll learn all those things in chapters 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on. Alright? So this is what we have, right? This is a wrong diagram. Understood? It cannot be like this. Got it? Okay. Again, I have not explained why. Frankly, I have not given you a proper reason of why it cannot form closed. Right? That reason will come in chapter 2. Okay, so these are the properties. Now go to the exercise. A homework question is waiting for you. Normally we will not bother with additional exercises because last year they removed all the additional exercise questions from board exam syllabus. But still, some questions are good, which are worth doing for making your concepts clear, right? So that you can do well in entrance exams, right? So such questions we will definitely discuss, but then there are some useless ones also, right? A very good example is question 31. આ જેટલી લાઈન નો ક્વેશ્ચન છે ને 31 એટલી સેકન્ડે એનો આન્સર આપતા ન થાય. Okay, but yes, first you should have some basic knowledge of what's given, right? So such questions can never be asked anywhere, right? I don't mind, but right now question 26, it's part B, C, D are homework. It's parts B, C and D. Question 26, parts B, C and D are homework. What about A and E? Don't worry about that. You can do it after chapter 2. Some questions in first chapter can only be solved after chapter 2. And some questions given in chapter 2 actually belong to chapter 1. I'm not kidding. You will realize that by the time we finish both the chapters. Right? Okay. Nevertheless, પહેલી વખત આ બુક આવી તો મને એમ થયું આ કેવું આ ભૂલથી એક્સરસાઇઝ આની આમાં મૂકી દીધી લાગે. But it's not like that. In both the chapters there is a mix of questions. Some are from chapter 1 and some are from chapter 2. Right? Okay. હશે ભાઈ ગમે અહીંયાથી ઉપાડીને છાપી માર્યો એટલે આવું થાય. Right? Possible. Nevertheless, so make sure you complete that homework. It's about field line. Let's go to the next one. The next thing that we're going to study is electric dipole. Yeah, you have to remember these things as a list. Not necessarily in order, but order is preferred. Okay? Not necessary that you have to write it in order only. Okay? Because I've seen this question a couple of times in board exam. Write properties of field lines, 2 marks. You just write them all, something like that. Okay? Well, next. Something that you have already studied in chemistry. Electric dipole. Don't worry, we are not going to omit the topic of flux, right? But I think once again it's not proper on the part of the authors to give flux before dipole. There is no need really. Okay? Flux can all be done at the end. Never mind. Electric dipole. Let's look at name dipole. Means there will be how many poles? 2 poles. Right. Now I'm sure you have that much basic knowledge from chemistry that in molecules the dipoles are formed when there is a polar bond. Correct or not? So that one atom has more electronegativity and the other one has less electronegativity. For example, the OH bond. Alright? Yes or no? So what do you say over there? That oxygen gets what charge and hydrogen gets what charge? Oxygen gets, you say that it gets a partial negative charge. એવું કંઈક આવે ને એવું ના આવે. Okay. મને યાદ છે. And this gets a partial positive charge. So basically this is what makes a dipole. One charge here, another charge there. That's called a dipole. Now let's write definition. So hopefully you would have realized that dipoles are very commonly formed in molecules. Actually not just molecules. In atoms also. But chemistry માં તમારે નહીં આવ્યું કોઈ દિવસ કે atoms form a dipole. Don't. We will study for it. Right? Generally chemistry people tend to ignore whatever happens inside that. Right? Chemistry is more focused on what happens when 2 atoms interact with each other. Yes or no? Do you agree with my observation? Chemistry is all about bonds, isn't it? Mostly things are about making bonds, breaking bonds, molecules, this and that, right? How can bond be made with one atom only? Can one atom make a bond with itself? You understand what I'm saying? Chemistry is basically interaction of 2 atoms, not more than 2 atoms. What happens inside atom is actually physics business, right? Outside chapter atoms. Okay, later. Nevertheless, here. So, what is an electric dipole? It is a system of 2 charges of equal magnitude and opposite polarity. System of two charges of equal magnitude and opposite polarity separated by a distance. This is called what? An electric diagram. Actually, we should just add one word here to make it more proper. Separated by a finite distance means limited, not unlimited distance. Right? Okay, so this is what makes a dipole. Electric dipole. Again, dipole means two poles. Which two poles? One positive and one negative. Clear or not? So this charge will be minus q and this will be plus q. Understood? Clear? Generally, what we do is, suppose C is the center of this dipole. We take the distance on either side as A. So for example, this point is A and this point is B. Then AC is A and CB is also A. So what's the total distance? 2. Normally that's what we do. So if someone would ask you, they are separated by a finite distance, alright, how much distance? Not A. This is one of the most common mistakes. Distance between the two charges. અત્યારે ડાયાગ્રામમાં તમને એવું થશે સર આમાં શું મિસ્ટેક છે કરો સમ તમને ખબર પડશે. Alright, 2a is the distance between them, not A. So you have to be careful, right? If you try to do it quickly, you might make a mistake in question. Well, now related with dipole, I am sure in chemistry you have heard the term called dipole moment. Isn't it? Have you heard about it or not? That there are dipole moments. Some molecules have a dipole moment, some don't. Yes or no? Okay, very good. So now we are going to define dipole moment. What exactly is this dipole moment? Remember, definitions in science, they are all same, whether it is chemistry or physics. So the physics definition, you can use it in chemistry also. It will be equally applicable. I am going to erase the words here. Okay, then I write the definition. Alright. So what is dipole moment? First of all, its symbol is P vector, small p. Alright, it's a vector quantity P vector. Let me write the formula and then below that I will write the meaning of it. So this is what dipole moment is defined as. P vector equal to 2a into q into p hat. Right, so let's write the definition. It's a vector. Dipole moment is a vector with direction from negative charge towards positive charge. Okay, and magnitude is equal to product. Product means multiplication of charge separation. Charge separation and magnitude of charge. Again, it might look like a very difficult definition, but if you keep this formula in mind, it's easy to write. So what does it say? First of all, dipole moment is a vector. whose direction is from negative to positive. Okay, so in this diagram, let me indicate p hat. Actually, p hat just means unit vector in direction of the dipole moment. Do you remember hat or not? I hope you do. Okay, so dipole moment vector will be from negative to positive. Did you understand? In this direction, p hat. Clear? Okay. Remember, you might have a question like, how do we decide it from negative to positive? Is there logic behind it? No. No logic at all. This is a definition. You understand what is the meaning of a definition? Definition one again. Something that we as humans decide that, okay, we are going to call it this way. Got it? Now you might then have a question, why you say it like this only? Can't we have dipole moment in opposite direction? We can. It doesn't change a lot of things, but this is how it has been taken historically. So there is no need to change it because nothing is wrong here, right? Whether you define that way or this way, there is only one difference, minus sign, right? Okay, so there is no need to bother about changing the direction. So this is the direction of dipole moment. Read this definition. Now what about magnitude? What is the magnitude equal to? Have a look. This is the magnitude. Equal to product means multiplication of charge separation. How much is charge separation? Got it or not? Charge separation 2a. Yes or no? And magnitude of charge. What the magnitude of these charges? Q, not 0. Q. This has magnitude Q. That also has magnitude Q. Understood everything? Yes or no? So that's what we've got here. So this is the formula of dipole moment in vector form. In magnitude, it would only be this. I hope nobody is surprised by that. Can you tell me its unit? Can you tell me its unit? Huh? Meter per coulomb. Coulomb meter. Alright? Coulomb meter. Be careful while writing. Don't write cm. It's not centimeter. Alright? It is coulomb meter. The reason why we do not write like this is because this will look like millicoulomb. Do you understand? There is no way to find out whether if someone has written this, is it millicoulomb or meter coulomb. That's why this is the wrong way to write. This is the correct way. Got it? Okay, so be careful of it. You can of course find out dimensions and all that on your phone. I will not bother about all that. Right? Remember, it's a vector and its direction is from negative towards the positive. Clear? Sure? Well. Yeah. I think we have 5 minutes remaining. Turn this.